Hello everyone, this is Keith coming at you with my NFL 2016 Week 6 predictions. But first, quick recap. Last week, my Titans actually did not let me down, which is really weird. Um, we went into Miami and the score was a lot closer than the game really indicated. They had a punt return for a touchdown and two plays on offense. Two plays that went over 50 yards. You take those three plays away, it's a shutout. It's not like they had any methodical long drives down the field or anything like that. Tennessee manhandled them. Um, Most complete game I've seen from Tennessee since the opener at Tampa Bay last year when we won 42-14 over the Buccaneers. Now, I'll get to them a little later. Let's start from the top. We start with our Thursday night game, the Broncos at the Chargers. San Diego. I don't know or understand. I mean, I thought Tennessee was bad at blowing games. Last year, that's all Tennessee did was blow leads in the fourth quarter. That Titans team can't hold a candle to what this Chargers team can do this year. I think I saw an article where on NFL.com where the San Diego Chargers, for them, they had a high percentage to win some of their four losses. If you were to reenact all of those four games in a row, San Diego loses all those four games once every like 30 million tries or something like that. That is how bad the Chargers are at blowing games. They're just, it's disgusting. You see something new that you just don't expect to see each week. You think he's gonna miss the field goal, right, against Oakland? That's what you think's gonna happen? No, it's actually the holder who can't even get the freaking ball down onto the ground, which is something that they practice every single day. And this is terrible. They've lost all four of their games by a margin of victory of like I think it's like 11. I may be wrong, but they have a positive point differential with a 1-4 record because of the way they slaughtered Jacksonville. They just blew it again. And with the Denver Broncos coming into town, I think the Chargers are going to do the same thing. I think they're going to keep this game very close because they're the Chargers. And then Denver's defense is going to suffocate them because San Diego doesn't have the running game that Atlanta does. Which, therefore, I think the Broncos are going to take this game by a score of 21-17 over San Diego. I think San Diego will hold a 17-14 lead in the fourth and blow it somehow. Maybe on a 99-yard passing touchdown with 5 seconds left, because with the way their season's going, that's probably what would happen. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the red-hot Buffalo Bills. Alright. Even I have to say I'm impressed, okay? I have been thoroughly impressed with what the Bills have been able to accomplish after starting the season 0-2. And the 49ers, on the other hand, started off the season exactly the same way this year as they did last year. They crushed their opponent on Monday Night Football, and they have looked like garbage ever since. San Francisco's making a cross-country trip all the way to Buffalo, New York. And I think the Bills get their fourth straight win. I don't see a reason for the Bills to not get their fourth straight win here against an inferior opponent, traveling all this way to play Buffalo. Sure, the Niners have had extra time to prepare for this game, but I don't think it's going to matter. The Bills have just seemed to have figured it out right now. So I think the Bills continue to ride this high into next week. I think the Bills win this game 31-14 over the 49ers. I think the Buffalo Bills defense does some major damage to the 49ers offensive line, and I think they'll get to Kaepernick in this game. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to take on the Washington Redskins. This is an interesting game. the Redskins, like the Bills, are a team that has reeled off 3 straight wins after an 0-2 start. The only difference between the Redskins and Bills is that the Redskins' opponent this Week 6 is far more competitive than the 49ers. This is the Eagles we're talking about. And this Eagles defense has looked pretty nice. I'm putting faith in Washington here. Only because I think the growing pains of starting a rookie quarterback catches up to every single team at some point, regardless of how good the defense is. We saw it with the Jets in 2009. We saw the Jets start off 3-0, and next thing you know, they were 4-6. We've seen this story before, and the Jets ended up having a solid run to end the year, and they went to the conference championship, but the growing pains of starting a rookie quarterback will catch up to every single team who starts a rookie quarterback. It's just a matter of when. And I think this is Carson Wentz's time now to settle back in, back up a little bit, and be a rookie. The Redskins defense looked nice against Baltimore, but this game will be more high scoring. I think the Eagles will score more points than Baltimore did. I'm putting faith in Washington also to get their 4th straight win, which is pretty risky on my end, picking 2 teams to start that started 0-2, both of them to reel off 4 straight wins. But hey, I mean, trends, right? So I think the Redskins take this game 27-21 over Philadelphia. Next game, and I'm going to be on this game for a while, 4 reasons. Cleveland Browns at Tennessee Titans. The Cleveland Browns will win this game. Alright, I said it. The Browns will win this game. Tennessee looked damn near unstoppable last week against Miami. Cleveland looked like a joke against the Patriots. But the Browns will win this game. I have seen this story so many times, and I'm not falling for it again because I have fallen into the same trap every single time. And every year it's like, oh, it could be different this year, right? It could be. I mean, it's a different team. No, every single time it has been this way. Let me do a little research for you. In 2011, Tennessee is solid. They're, I think, they're 7-6, right? They're 7-6, and they're playing the 0-13 Indianapolis Colts, and the Titans lose. Boom, just like that. They finished 9-7, 1 game out of the playoffs, lost the tiebreaker to Cincinnati. That's one winless team they lost to. The very next year, they are 4-4. They had just come off 3 competitive losses to solid teams. The Chiefs, who would eventually start 9-0, the Seahawks, who would win the Super Bowl later that year, and the 49ers, who were just in the Super Bowl. They competed in every single one of those games, and they just finished going into St. Louis and beating the Rams and Jeff Fisher. And here they are playing the winless Jags, 0-9 at home in Tennessee, and they lose. Same story, different year. Continuing off of that, Tennessee had a big win against Kansas City in 2014. And that's 2013 was when that Jaguars game happened, not 2012. But 2014, we're playing Kansas City in Kansas City. We blow their doors off, 26-10. Expectations are high. We're at home the very next week against the Cowboys, who just finished getting their doors blown off by the 49ers in week 1. And guess what? We lay an egg 26-10 against the Cowboys. And the very next year, and this is the same scenario. Remember those demons I mentioned about Miami, how we finally overcame them this past Sunday? It's a complete reversal. Off topic for a sec. Remember me last week saying that the Tennessee Titans were at a crossroads the same way they were the year before against Miami? And Tennessee was the home favorite. Miami went into Nashville, got 6 sacks in a blowout victory. the exact same opposite thing happened. Miami is the favorite. Tennessee goes in, puts up a six-sack performance and a dominating win. And this leads right into the next week, because the last time the Titans won by double digits, their next opponent was the Cleveland Browns. And this was after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers blowout in week 1 last year. Tennessee went into Cleveland with high expectations, looking to completely revamp off what Marcus Mariota has done in week 1, and they blew it again. That's 4 now. 4 opportunities to play an inferior opponent, and Tennessee lost all 4 of them. They went into Cleveland and they lost 28-14 in a ridiculous performance, and the Browns would end up finishing the season 3-13. So this game has upset written all over it, and nobody sees it coming but me, because I've seen this before. It's the same story every single year. You know what? This could be another chance for the Titans to redeem themselves, kind of the way they did against Miami. They just finished a blowout victory, and they have an opportunity to play a completely inferior Browns team at home. Just the same way it was last year. This is just the season of conquering demons. We conquered 1 demon, we're not conquering 2, okay? Tennessee's not there yet. Cleveland Browns are going to win this game 24-21 over Tennessee in an upset. I'm guaranteeing that. Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice with Cleveland, shame on me. I'm not falling for that. Tennessee's lost their last 2 games to the Browns. We'll lose 3 in a row to Cleveland because we're the Titans. That is all I'm going to say about this game. Browns will win. Next up, Ravens at Giants. I'm picking the Giants. I like what they're doing. They may have lost 3 straight games, but it's not like they were blown out in all these games. I mean, they went into Green Bay and gave it to Green Bay. I mean, they made Aaron Rodgers' life hell. And Baltimore, maybe they are pretenders. Shout out to Matt Combs, Matt the NFL fanatic. Go follow him. But I'm just not a believer in the Ravens right now. And they're traveling to the Giants, and I think both of these teams are on a little bit of losing streaks, but I'm picking the home team here. I think the Giants win 23-20 over Baltimore. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. If the Panthers don't win this game, their season's over. Period. Point blank. If Carolina drops to a 1-5 record, it's done. There's no way the Panthers are going to make the playoffs after starting 1-5 with how competitive the NFC is this year. Think about it. You got the Falcons, you got the Packers, you got the Vikings, who are undefeated right now. You got the entire NFC East, which looks solid. The 4-1 Cowboys, the 3-2 Redskins, the 3-1 Eagles. You have the NFC West and the Cardinals. They're starting to make some noise finally. And then you have the Seahawks. And you even have the 3-2 Los Angeles Rams. The Panthers can't afford a 1-5 start. Not with how competitive the NFC is this year. They just can't. Especially losing to another division rival. Because the Panthers are 0-2 in their own division right now. So if they drop to 0-3 in their own division, losing a road game to the Saints, it's going to be very hard for them to climb out of that hole. It's already hard enough. That is why I'm picking the Panthers to win this game. Cam Newton will probably be back. The Saints are going to put up some points in this, but I think the Panthers take it 30-28 over New Orleans. I'm putting faith in the Panthers. Luckily, I switched my pick in my survival pool last week. I originally had picked the Panthers to beat the Buccaneers in my survival pool, but when I found out Cam Newton wasn't playing, I reverted and I switched to picking New England over the Browns like everyone else, even though I didn't want to. Some of the my fellow NFL progs know that I didn't want to, but I figured, hey, it's probably better than picking the Panthers without Cam Newton. So Carolina, I think, will get the win here. Next up, Jaguars at Bears. The Jaguars had a nice bye week after London. Chicago has looked a lot more competitive since starting Brian Hoyer, and I think that pays dividends here. Yes, I'm picking the Jags to lose. I think the Jaguars will lose this game by a score of 26-23 over Chicago. The Bears, I mean, Brian Hoyer looked pretty damn good against the Colts, and yes, it was playing the Colts defense, but still. So yeah, I think the Bears get the win. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to take on the Detroit Lions. The Lions impressed me last week. I think I may have even said in my video last week that I would not be surprised if the Detroit Lions won. And they did. So props to Detroit, but I think they have some kind of a letdown here. The Los Angeles Rams are still 3-2. They're still a solid team. They played competitive against Buffalo, who's on a roll right now. And I think the Rams end up taking this game 25-23 over the Lions. Another close one. Detroit's offense is nice, but the Rams have a nice defense. So I think the Lions drop to 2-4 here. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Miami Dolphins. I'm playing Bill Biles in fantasy this week. Go follow him. And he's got 2 Pittsburgh Steelers on his team going against the Dolphins defense. So I am sweating my ass off because I am prepared to lose this week based on matchups alone. He's got Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown against the Dolphins defense. Are you kidding me? With the way Ben Roethlisberger's been playing lately, the Steelers are going to rip the Dolphins to shreds. But the Steelers have a habit of losing games to teams that are inferior. It's been a trend dating back to a couple years ago. So I think the Dolphins keep this game a little close. 24-14. I think the Steelers get the win. I don't think they blow their doors off. I think the Dolphins put up a little bit of a fight here. But a little bit of a fight means a 10-point win for the Steelers, because that's how bad the Dolphins are. Next up, we got the Bengals at the Patriots. Cincinnati is staring 2-4 right in the face. Tom Brady is back. The Bengals have their worst team since 2010. They don't look good. I'm going with the Patriots here. Easy game to pick at home. This is Tom Brady's first game at home in New England. I think the Patriots win by a score of 42-20. Yes, I think they blow Cincinnati out of the water here. And the Bengals continue to spiral down. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Oakland Raiders. I love what Oakland is doing this year, but 5-1. I mean, I said last week I wasn't seeing 4-1, but 5-1, 5-1, not seeing it. I'm rooting for you guys. I think it's awesome that the Raiders are good now. That's awesome, but you're gonna have these letdowns once in a while. Oakland has reeled off 3 straight wins, and I think the Kansas City Chiefs, fresh off a bye week, being 2-2, I think the Chiefs are gonna go into Oakland and get a huge victory. Kansas City's not a bad football team. They may have looked terrible against the Steelers, but we all know Kansas City's more than capable of playing better football than that. I think the Chiefs win this game 20-17 over Oakland. I think the Chiefs defense shuts down this Raiders offense a little bit. I think they'll kick a game-winning field goal and they'll get the upset win. Next up, we got the Falcons at the Seahawks. Atlanta's another team that's hot right now. They're 4-1. The Seahawks are 3-1, coming off a bye week. Atlanta is playing consecutive road games against the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. If the Falcons win this game, in my opinion, they will be the 3rd best team in the NFL behind the Patriots and the Vikings. Oh, it'd be so great to see those the Falcons and Vikings go at it, or the Falcons and Patriots go at it. But the Seattle Seahawks should get this win because it is very hard to play consecutive road games against the Broncos and the Seahawks and expect to win them both. So I think the Seahawks get the win here, 21-14 over Atlanta. The Seahawks are a solid football team still, and I think the defense will shut down the Falcons a little bit. Next, we got the Cowboys at the Packers. Same deal with the Cowboys. They're a surprise 4-1 team. You got surprise 4-1 teams everywhere. And I think every single one of them will come back down to earth a little bit. think the Raiders will come back down to earth a little against Kansas City. Atlanta will get humbled in their own way against Seattle, and I think traveling to Green Bay to play the Packers, Dak Prescott, his rookie struggles are gonna come. I guarantee it. Always happens. I think Green Bay gets the win, 30-23 over the Dallas Cowboys. Next, Colts at Texans. Houston's undefeated at home. That's gonna change because the Texans are not gonna go 4-0 at home with how bad they look sometimes. The Colts, I think, get on a little bit of a run. Indianapolis takes the lead in the division. I think they get the win here, 27-23 over Houston. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else left to say about this one. It's an AFC South game, so it's pretty much huge because every team's in the AFC South is going to be within like 2 or 3 games of each other all year long. Next up, we got the Jets at the Cardinals. Arizona, they pretty much had a bye week. I mean, they played Thursday night. That means they had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and they don't even play the Sunday after that. They play Monday Night Football. So they have almost 2 weeks to prepare for this game. And I think the Cardinals, with Carson Palmer coming back healthy, send the Jets to 1-5. Because the Jets' schedule is ass. And I feel so bad for Jets fans that they've had to endure this. I think Arizona gets the win here, 31-20 over the Jets. Those are my picks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys all next time.